Hey guys, welcome into Type Talk Tuesday. This is the place we talk about personality typing with a spiritual understanding. It's the role of the soul in personality typing. So today, since summer is upon us, I wanted to talk and discuss, first a new blog post. It's the 16 remarkable ways each personality type can become aware of their true self while on vacation. But I wanted to go into that a little bit deeper, of course. I would go deep. But I wanted to talk about the matrix of travel and letting that matrix of travel go so you can enable more transformational getaways. So I'm going to talk about that in 3 steps. So the first thing I want to really talk about is the matrix of travel. I had been in the industry for probably a decade and a half. Yes. It's a great industry, but it does have a matrix. It's a conditioning matrix. When you open a magazine, what does it say? Top 10 places to go, top 10 beaches, top 10 restaurants, top 10 cities, top 10 destinations, best places too, best this, best that. Well, best for who? Top 10 places for who? For the magazine's advertisers, yes, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what keeps magazines afloat. But the matrix here is when you buy into that conditioning of, I have to go to that place. You get into that frenzy and you kind of dismiss your personality type and what you truly want and desire in a vacation. Some people don't, some people do. But I do know, okay, I talk to hundreds upon hundreds of travelers as a public relations professional. And it was my job in the travel industry to get people to come to a resort, a destination, an attraction, whatever it was, that was my job. So I would spend hours talking to travelers, and I talked to hundreds upon hundreds of travelers. And what I found out was the vast majority of them weren't all that happy. And I think Sean Aker even did a study where he said people are happier planning the vacation than actually on the vacation. Well, why is that? It really becomes very simple if you think about it. Because as you're planning with the desires of your personality type, okay? When you start going on vacation, unless you're solo traveling, and even then you get caught in the matrix, and we'll discuss that. But if you're solo traveling, if you're traveling with a family or friends or so forth and so on, you're compromising, okay? So if there's an extrovert traveling with an introvert, you have 2 very different travel styles. And I'm not even getting into the 8 different types of introverts or the 8 different types of extroverts. Because even with them, within those groups, there's a complete distinction of what they prefer when they travel as opposed to what you prefer. So here I'm telling you that knowing your personality type before you begin to travel is extremely important. Now I have a lot of stuff on my blog about travel, best places for extroverts, introverts, and so forth and so on. And I did it a lot before 2020, but it's still relevant. Travel's travel, right? Everything's relevant because your travel personality is not going to change. The destinations aren't changing. All of a sudden there's not going to be like Florida's just not going to just disappear. So that stuff won't change. So it's still relevant. So if you want to check back on my blog, and I'll put all that information below. But what I'm saying about this matrix is we get so involved in the doing, in the busyness, and the checking off the lists, and oh my God, I have to get there, fear of missing out. That all takes precedence over what travel can really do for you. So here's the second part I want to speak of. Stepping out of the matrix, or stepping around the matrix. Yes, you should use resources. If you desire, if you haven't been to a place, it's good to check and resource and so forth. But you shouldn't even do that. You shouldn't even Google anything until you know your personality type and you're intimate with it and you know your traits. So you know what you're going to desire and not desire. Like if you're an introvert, why would you go to a place where it's just festivals 24/7? You'd be like crawling up the wall, right? And same thing with an extrovert. An extrovert's not going to have that much fun hiking deep, deep, deep into the woods and being without people for 2 weeks. Just not how they function. So you have to know these things. You have to know how you make your decisions. You have to know your attitudes and how you live in the outside world. You have to know how you take in information. All these things are so relevant, and they're inside you. They're your personality type. So if you don't know your personality type, you're doing yourself a disfavor. Okay? But that's one way you can walk around the matrix. So when all the magazines are saying, oh, these are the top 10 places, you're like, nope, not for me. This place would be so much better for me. If you're spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, isn't that a better choice? Isn't that a better way to travel based on what you desire? Not what an editor desires or whoever knows what personality they have, which contributes to the story. I know, I used to be an editor. So my personality type overflows into the story. It has to. It's what you write from. You write from what you know. So can you see how that's starting to work? And even when you go on TripAdvisor, all that stuff, all those reviews and so forth are from people that have very different personalities from you. Maybe there's some the same that have some different personalities. But even that, and this is where I'm trying to dismiss all the stereotyping, their life experience, finessed with their personality type, is going to be very different from yours. You're 1 in a million. Divine intelligence and created one of you. You were created to be you and you only. Your true self, the truth of who you are. That's how you start stepping around the matrix. You start looking at your truth, the travel matrix. You start looking at your truth. So you're not so swayed by what the media is saying. Oh, here, you have to go here. Do I? Do I really? No, you don't. And I know this for a fact because you can go look up over tourism. It's because the media and that whole matrix of travel, whole travel industry and their conditioning of us of where we're supposed to travel has created one of the most devastating effects on the planet, and it's called over-tourism. So if you don't believe me, I'll put a link. I'll make it easy. I'll just put a link. But if you look up over-tourism, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked at how humans and the conditionings that have been prevailing on this planet for travel over the past 50, 60, 70 years have decimated beautiful, pristine places. So people could say that I've gone there. Well, let's start traveling a little different. As the world opens up, I want you to open up, and I want you to open up in a different way. So I did write, and I'm going to go to step number 3 here. The 16 remarkable ways each personality type can gain awareness about their true self and hopefully transform a little bit on their next vacation. So go into each different personality type and kind of what lights you up. And those are the things you want to incorporate into your travel escape. It's not necessarily being at the best restaurant. For some types, it is that. It is just that. And that's okay. I'm not judging that. But I don't think as a blanket statement, every traveler on the planet has to subscribe to some list. I'm not saying that. Or some place to stay. I just don't believe that. Because I believe you were created as an individual. And you're going to have your own individual choices. And you're going to want to manifest and do what you want to do. And not be conditioned. This is part of breaking out of the matrix. This is also another part of you finding your true self when you're on vacation. And one of the things I strongly suggest you do is sit in stillness. Yes, even you extroverts, I know I'm an extrovert, but you sit in the stillness and you just observe without having to do, without knowing anybody, without any of these veils and armor that we put on ourselves daily to go out in the world. Just sit and be and feel what washes over you. Because that's the purpose of travel, is to experience nature, because nature is our teacher. We're here in Earth School. And if you don't think Mother Nature has stuff to teach us, you probably shouldn't be watching this video, because it's one of my pillars of what I teach. But as you sit there and observing, maybe it's just learning the rhythms of life, watching the ocean, waves, ebb and flow. Maybe you're in the mountains and you can hear the trees talking as the leaves rustle, and then it stops, and then it starts again. It's because there's a pause in the conversation. The trees don't talk over one another, have to be, and have to have the next smart comment. That's matrix, that's fear, that's conditioning. That's separating from the present moment. You're not even thinking in that moment. Or how about how the sun just warms you? It just makes you feel so good and so alive. Meditate on that and ask how you can find that warmth and that kindness that the sun prevails on the earth every day. The gift of the sun on the earth. How can you do that? How can you find that and carry that warmth in your heart every day when you come back from vacation? Journal that. Because those are things that I think are so overlooked in vacation because we're so busy in that matrix of doing. I have to do this. I have to see this. Oh my God, I have to get my selfie in front of here. I got to do this. Oh my God, it's exhausting. Like, what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing for yourself? That's all external stuff. How are you letting travel transform you? You've got to know your personality type. Because when you know your personality type, from the beginner's mind, and I talk about the beginner's mind because it's from its purest essence. It's the personality type you were born with. The fear and conditioning no longer rules your personality. Divine intelligence rules your personality. And when you get to that personality, and then you start aligning it with your soul intentions, that's where the magic happens. That's when your true self comes out to play. That's where the truth is. And in that truth, you will find so much freedom. And as they say, the truth sets you free. And it does. Because when you're in your true self, you're present. You're in present moments. You're present. You're present in the world. And when you travel, that is the best time to start practicing that beginner's mindset. Start being present with yourself. And what are these beliefs? Because your beliefs lead to your choices. And if they're not beliefs based on your true, authentic values, then you keep on making the wrong choices. And travel is one of them. I know. Like I said, I talked to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And they made the wrong choice to be at a $20,000 a night villa. And they still weren't happy. They had a private chef. Like they had a villa overlooking, I think it's called the Charles Drake. It's a beautiful sound, right? Off of Tortola. It's beautiful. It's the most, it's pristine. So that's the British Virgin Islands, right? They had a masseuse at their beck and call. They had everything. They still weren't happy. They didn't know themselves. And when I asked them why they weren't happy, they'd speak of the very superficial things. Until I said, oh, I'm sorry. Well, what can we do to make it better? Or we can maybe do this. Well, no, that's not going to work either. Well, what's going to work? Well, can you tell my husband that I need to do this? Or can you tell the kids? Or this isn't the place for me. I don't like the beach. I want to be in the mountains. It's too much. Or I need more action. This place is boring. Well, maybe it's time to sit in some stillness. And then maybe you'll learn that the next time you book a vacation, you're booking it from your personality type. Your beginner's mind personality type. Not your fear-induced or the conditioned matrix personality from the conditioned matrix, okay? That steers your personality into a decision that might not be yours. It might. It might not. Only you can tell. That choice is yours. So I have listed out every personality type, okay, on the blog. And I give you a little snippet of what lights you up on travel, what's going to make you happy. And for every personality type, it's something different. And yes, this is going to be very general snippets because I don't know your journey. I don't know the lessons you've been taught here in the Earth School. I don't know that. So obviously, I can't be very specific to you. but the indicators of your personality, that's where my specificity lies within each personality type, because we all have indicators, and that's just the truth of the matter. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this blog, and as you travel, as the world opens up to travel, I hope you do use it as a resource. So when you're planning your next vacation, you plan in a different way. You're not so I don't mean to use the word betrayed, but you're not so swayed, how about that, by the top 10 lists. Who's doing that? I did it. I wrote it. I know. I did it. So it's not a judgment. I don't want you to be totally persuaded or swayed by just that one way of thinking. I want you to think. I want you to think about your personality type. Then start Googling. Yeah, and it's a little bit of work. You have to write down some lists and what you like, what you don't like. If you don't know your personality type, well, that's where you need to start. Because if you don't know your personality type and you haphazardly pick a place, well, how's that going to work? You know, unless you're really tuned in and your gut instinct is tuned in. But still, you still have to know your personality type. It's my belief. It's the cornerstone of my work. I want to get you to your true self. I want you to really know your personality type from a beginner's mindset. And I want you to release the fear-based personality type, the one that's so easily led astray by what maybe the media is saying, or maybe even what your friend is saying. Because you know what, your friend could love a place and they have two different personality types, and you get there and you're like, this place sucks. I mean, how many times has that happened? It happens a lot. I know. I spoke to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of travelers, and they told me so, right? I don't want that for you. I want you to have a vacation experience that's transformative, that gives you a slice of your beautiful true self. Because you know all those things that you love? Like when you get into a place, you're like, oh, the beauty, the magic, the feeling, the food, that's all within you. That's why people love to travel. Because travel is mirroring your true self. It mirrors one another. So all those things you see are so beautiful, they're beautiful because they're in you. It's your beauty coming out, and travel's just mirroring back to you your own beauty. So step into that when you travel. Make that a vacation ritual. Okay? So if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. I'm going to put some links in there, like I told you, about over-tourism. I'll put my latest blog link in there. And then if you just go on my blog and Google travel, you'll see that there's a lot of other articles on travel and your personality type. So if you want to click the bell and be aware when my next video pops, it's Type Talk Tuesdays. Every Tuesday I'm going to be on here talking about personality typing with a spiritual understanding. It's the soul's role in personality typing. But hit the bell, and then you'll know that I've got a new video running. And subscribe, and enjoy. Just want you to enjoy. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here to teach you what I learned going through my 7-year life tsunami. You know, it's what I'm here to do, and it makes me so happy. So happy when I see somebody having a light bulb moment and go, oh my God, I get this. This is so good. And my clients are telling me that. So I know if it works for them, it's going to work for you. So enjoy your vacations, your travels. May they bring you transformation. May they bring you great joy. May they bring you moments of stillness where you recognize your light and you just feel that spark of who you are. That's what I hope for you. Okay, guys. Happy Tuesday. Happy summer. We'll be talking more about this. Have a great rest of the week. Bye for now. Nina.